Hey, and welcome to BBQ. So this is the third generation smokers I'm building, and I wanted to give you a quick intro, what has changed, what has stayed the same. So this is truly a fun project, building offset smokers. Not only constructing them, designing them, but also getting them to work properly, breathe properly, with the right temp zones in the smoker, and just building them to last so that whoever's purchasing them is going to be real happy with the product and crank out some awesome food. Now, as you build smokers, you find little things you want to tweak, want to improve as you go along. This is why I call this the third generation, so I thought I'd do a little walkthrough, show you what's changed and what's new, and what has stayed the same. Starting with the basics, this is now 1/4 inch steel through and through, and you can really tell by the weight. This is 200 plus kilos, so it's not easy to move around. But it does wonders for heat retention, which is good, and that means it's going to last 2 lifetimes, which is also good. Now, when changing the weight or actually increasing the weight, that means the door is getting heavier. So the actual start of the door right here used to be at the 12 o'clock position, but now it's moved down to, well, I guess 11 o'clock, depending on which way you look at it. Which means the door is ever so slightly smaller, which compensates for the extra weight, so it's still relatively easy to open. And it doesn't do much for clearance. I mean, the clearance is still the same for the top shelf, which means you can still fit a good old brisket in there, which is nice. And I dimensioned this after like typically 4 briskets, 2 on the top shelf, 2 on the bottom shelf. That's how I counted or calculated backwards to know the actual size of my backyard smoker. Now, overall dimensions is the same. It's a 1 meter food chamber, 50 centimeter firebox, which is the same size opening, same size smokestack, which is good because, well, it was already perfect as it was. I didn't want to change one bit. Another thing I did change, if you pay close attention, you can see that I slanted the smokestack outwards slightly. This is kind of like a blink towards the 1960s, 70s style choppers with the sissy bar and the exhaust pipe following the same angle. Every other smoker has perfectly straight smokestacks, so I just wanted to do something slightly different design-wise. Still the same great functionality though. This is a 4-inch pipe, and even nicer is that they used to be removable on my generation 1 and 2 smokers. It's still removable, but now you don't even have to use a screwdriver or anything. You can simply pick this up because it slides into position here with a squeeze fit, which is really nice. Makes it really easy if you want to store it winter time. Although most people that buy this typically grill or smoke year round, just like I do, so not much use for that, but it is nice. Not only, I mean, for nothing else than transportation, which is good. Now, looking at the details, you can see I moved the thermometer down, well, not down, it's still the same height, but dead center. The reason to do that was simply that, well, I just wanted to get a pretty good reading in the middle of the smoker, where it's slightly hotter than over here. So that just in case you think it's running at like 120 Celsius, it's actually running at 120 Celsius, not crazy hot up here and 20 degrees cooler over here. So it gives you more of a correct reading. But I always use a digital thermometer placed right where the food is, because that's always going to give you the best reading ever. So I use this as a rough indicator, still good, but make note there will be temp differences in different parts of the smoker, so always plug in a digital thermometer. Another thing I changed is the fat drain here. It's also mounted dead center, typically because, I mean, even though I had it in the end that you had to slightly tilt the smoker a bit just to have it drain automatically, most of the time it's placed very flat horizontal. So it just made more sense to put the fat drain dead center in the middle also. And I made it slightly bigger, so it's going to be even easier to get all the juices and the fat to drain quickly. Did put on a nice hardwood handle, which I put hard wax oil on 4 times, so it's really resistant. It's kind of square-ish, but also rounded for comfort, so it feels really good when you pick it up. I really like this touch. I made it quite a bit wider, so it's easy to grab, regardless if you're left-handed, right-handed. All right, let's open this baby up. Here you can see the 2 shelves, slide-out shelves. Just like before, bigger handle, easier to grab. The top one, you don't need a handle, you just grab it by the bottom edge like this, so I didn't bother putting one on. I have the water pan. I you can see it's completely separate from the bottom shelf, meaning you can slide this one out without affecting or spilling with the water path. Now looking at the inside of the lid, you can see there's a protective bar here, just so you won't damage the thermometer. It's kind of hard to hit that one on purpose, but this just protects against those accidents that happen every now and then. As for the digital thermometer I just mentioned previously, I still have that same slit provided here, so you can put all those cables in, thermometer probes. When closing, there's still like a 5mm gap here, so you won't pinch the cables, which is really nice. I like that, it's extremely simple. No hole to thread through, just put them right in here. Now we have some sturdy wheels, as you can see, swivelable casters in the front and lockable, fixed casters in the back, rock solid. I could even roll it out on this lawn, which tells you it's a good size diameter wheels. They each hold 200 kilos per wheel, so it's over dimensioned to make this smoker last forever. Right here you have the Firebox, sturdy door, fully open with the logo, basically meaning there's no vent at all. I want this to be what I call a free flow smoker. You don't want to choke the fire. If you want to drop temps, pull some logs out of the fire. Nice little hatch here, so you can position this at different positions when running. This is usually where I have it when I'm smoking, because if it's windy outside, the door protects the air from the wind, but it still at the same time provides maximum airflow. Or if you just run it open as it is, I mean, this works perfectly fine too. I did take out the fireproof bricks I had in the bottom, because the overall steel thickness is it's so much heavier, so that will provide the heat retention you need. But instead, put in the beefiest grill grates you could find. So this one weighs a good 10 kilos, so that, as you can see, it's extremely heavy and sturdy, and that's going to last a very long time. And at the same time provide good airflow underneath the fire to get those embers to glow and provide a really nice clean burning smoke. So good overall size, good dimensions, rock solid build. I'm really proud of this one. It's just an extremely well designed smoker, if I may say so. I use mine all the time, so I'm really proud of this. Anyhow, time to fire this one up and see how it behaves. Now temp is climbing steadily, which is good, and the smoke is starting to clear up. Looking good, getting the smoker warm. So thank you for watching this. I sell these smokers in Sweden and Sweden only so far, but I've just started delivery with DHL, which means you can order it online and have it delivered to your door, which I think is a great service to offer. I'm really proud of that, because otherwise you would have to come to me and pick it up, and that's, depending on where you live, that's going to be a bit of an effort. Anyhow, head on over to hangstrubarbq.com/se, and there you can find the web shop and purchase one of these bad boys yourself. Thanks for watching. See you guys next episode.